Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, Shadowbringers. In the last part, we finished up 5.5, but now it's time for 5.55. It's so sad that we can't really do like a 6.66 and so on. Sad days. The company we keep. Arya, you're looking well. I take it you managed to squeeze in some rest. If you keep hoping for tidings from Kryle, I'm afraid we're still waiting. But we do have some odd scraps of news to share. Scraps, she says. Lunar Primal's been popping up all over the place, but the Alliance has a situation well in hand, thanks to No Small part to Hori Polder and the others. Meanwhile, talks with these tribes are going even better than expected. Encouraged by Ulda's progress with the Amaja, Gridania has opened negotiations with the Ixal, believe it or not. All of which is obviously very encouraging, but with the Telophoroi still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard. Left my keys in a very terrible spot, so I keep pumping them now. Begging your pardon, but I come bearing an invitation from the Alliance. A council meeting is due to be held in Alamigo, and your attendance is humbly requested. We were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda? I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telophoroi, in concert with our new allies. The Beast Tribes have also been invited. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe. So the Alliance would bring all of the Beast Tribes into the fold at a single stroke. An ambitious plan, given the delicacy of the negotiations, but mayhap an expedient one considering the threat we face. Indeed, my lady. And for their part, I'm told the Beast Tribes have agreed to attend. If Science 2 are present, all of Eorzea will be represented. Still speaking properly is overrated. To arrange for the meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically, but practically. Pre-inform the Alliance that we would be honored to participate. We shall make for Alamigo without delay. Then we'll bear your answer hither with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace. Well, now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to attend? I move that you and Ishtola lead their contingent. Given how long you've worked to end summoning, it is only right that you be present for what promises to be a historic moment. I think we've all played our part in that little endeavor, don't you, Arya? All present may rightly claim a seat, I do quite agree, but by your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Amric will be there. I'd rather not be interrogated. Very well, then. While those with a mind to hold the fort get on with holding it, I suggest the rest of us make for Alamigo, shall we? Over here. We have been expecting you. Well, some few guests have yet to arrive. The Alliance leaders are all present. Shall I show you in? Oh, just let me in. Not even let me say yes or no. Just go. Scooch.
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would! Ah! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay! Freed our people must be!
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
Y'shtola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon, the Empire, our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome. I beg your pardon?
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little tricky without gills, perhaps? Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We Sahagin will play our part.
We kobolds have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future, as allies united in purpose.
Ah! Make mock of the Ixal the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets! Pits brother against brother! Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I see we are all in accord. But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea. What say you, my friend?
How about the Grand Company of Eorzea?
But that's the name I...
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, Oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
Hello, Alpha now. Right back in the cutscene, of course. Well, now that we are out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me first begin by saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set foot upon these shores, and that I was as heartened as anyone to see the peoples of Eorzea pledge their solidarity. Yet even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, of the sacrifices would be made and the lives lost. Inevitabilities I still struggle to accept. But at least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step. The first of many. Many and more. Other seats here. How might we be of service? I seek Master Alpha's assistance in the matter involving Gridania's neighbors, the Sylphs. I know that you you and yours have long kept a weather eye upon the crystal trade, the better to protect the coming of primals, and so you'll be familiar with the sylphs of the Ash Crown Consortium. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations not only with the city-states, but many other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes. Just so, it is our hope that we may make use of the sylphs' established lines of communication and coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Yet there remains certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a Grand Company. The sylphs are to perform their task effectively. They will require the council of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force. An armed force founded with the self-same goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Alphino. I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception. One intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught. Built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed to fail from the first, to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests. I have no wish to see this new endeavor suffer the same fate. Mayhap I asked too much of you. Not at all. You may count upon my assistance for what little is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Braves. You have my gratitude, Master Alphino, and my trust. When the report is ready, pray share it directly with the sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul I gathered here this day, I have no doubt that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadows of the Telophoroi and flourish. Until next we meet, my friends. Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. From our braves, you understand. Might you join me in seeking them out? I can't think of an excuse not to, so yeah? Well, I shall be grateful of your help, grudgingly or not. I'll join you. If you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it will be a lot quicker if we share the task of questioning them. Then mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events. We should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way. Alright. So what's the plan, brother man? Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report is proposed is largely written. Not long after that fateful day in Ulda, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. Thus, I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility, never that I imagined it might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone, its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be broadened to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can I answer what seemed to me to be the crucial question. Namely, why, after the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. You'd think the answer will tell something about the nature of the ties that bind our new Grand Company together. And that is knowledge that this knowledge might help us to prevent it from falling apart when those bonds are inevitably tested. That is my hope, yes. But the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandoned the cause would welcome my inquiries. Then Graha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Certain of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you and let's reconvene in Gridania later on. If you have no objections, I have in mind to begin by speaking with Rio and Alian. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing at Castrum Oriens. Let's seek them out there. Am I right? Yeah. Well, look who it is, and what brings you two here. I wouldn't have anything to do with the big meeting, would it? In a manner of speaking, I have been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. So you want to know why we decided to stick with the Scions, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. As I once explained to Arya, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitors in our midst. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the cause for as long as I am able. But that wasn't my only reason. When we were finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that happened, everything you had suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. As for me, well, I've always felt the Scions has something in common with me and old crew. Duty of the strong is protect the weak. That was our creed, and I still strive to live by it to this day. But as time's gone on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Hoary Boulder, the Mistress to Tyro, we've all of us got something to offer. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain, because we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting, which is what being a Scion's all about. I am at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Arya. Could you? Why do you think the Crystal Braves ended in failure? Well, it's found in ideals were something to be proud of, but ideals alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Ours was quite a disparate band, and while I will never forgive Ilberd, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts. Just a pity he was doing it for all the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple to say, and the Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like the Scions. We might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we've all got that shared sense of purpose. And why? Because Tyro sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. I see. While our ranks comprise of a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we are all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Till we meet again. On official business. Well, I think we have taken up of our colleagues' time, and I am conscious that less life-affirming testimonies await. Let's make our way to Gridania and hear what the others have learned. Thanks to Taro's ever dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former Braves without any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we heard enough to form a picture. I must warn you, Atheno, some of their comments were harsh. I can well imagine, but their opinions are no less vital to my report. I seek the unvarnished truth. Thank you. I will set about adding your findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go on ahead to Little Solis and seek out Elder Frixio. I will join you anon. Brave One and friends of Brave One, how good it is to see walking once again so soon after the meeting. Should this one perform the customary dance of greeting? No, be at ease. It is true that these ones once delighted in making walking ones dance, but no more. Horned One Kadasena said that walking ones would be coming a little solace. Imperial ones also invaded Selflands and abducted many of these ones, so these ones will be glad to bear messages between fighting friendly ones. That's heartening to hear, Elder. It will require all ones to work in unison to stop the Telophoroi. These ones will try very hard, of course, but in matters of war, these ones have little experience. Any advice walking ones can provide would be most welcome. Oh, another pretty silver-haired one? And in quite a hurry, it seems. Alize, you must come quickly. Whatever's the matter, Alphino? Don't tell me. You couldn't read my handwriting. What? No! That's when other officer accosted me as I was about to set out. Sharlayan has sent an envoy who's due to arrive in Gridania any moment. An envoy? Could it be that Krau has managed to sway the forum? We shall know soon enough, but there is more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience with the other seats here. Really? I can see why they might want Scions to be present, but us specifically? Wait, it isn't who I think it is it? It is. I could scarcely believe it myself, but when I inquired as to the envoy's identity, I was told it was one Fortuno Levea. Your father? Well, no. The fact that a serving member of the Forum had journeyed here would be surprise enough, but him? Quite. I glean from this that they are taking the matter seriously. That may be, but why him and not one of the other 98 Forum members? Unless he volunteered for it. It has been some time since you last saw your father, has it not? Could it be that he is concerned for your well-being? Perhaps, but he has always been reluctant to discuss his work with us. Indeed, and whenever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet with him after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose here. Elder Frixio, loath though I am to cut our visit short, we must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies along with my report. Never mind. There will be time to talk later. This one won't keep walking ones from more urgent matters. Go! The audience will be held at the Lotus Stand, where the Elder Seer awaits even now. Let's be on our way. Let us be smacking my leg into my desk, like I like to do. Welcome, Warrior of Light. The other seats here and your friends are waiting within. Just not even confirmation. Do you want to go in? Just... My friends, I thank you all for coming so swiftly. Word of Master Fortuno's visit took us quite by surprise. When the Alliance granted Mistress Krau permission to request Sharlayan's aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less it would be delivered by a member of the Forum. What the nature of that reply may be, we shall soon discover.
Elder Seer, I thank you for granting me this audience. I am Fortuno Levea, here in my capacity as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Fortuno, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
As do you both. Ameliance will be glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves.
How is Mother?
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisoix, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the Primals. Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene. And my position remains unchanged.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Sharlayan stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life, who we are. But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Sharlayan will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days? Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald, one in which Sharlayan will take no part. If the final days were truly upon us, we would know.
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider. You may feel safe on your little island across the waves, but if you imagine the Telophoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all, themselves included.
Alphino is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlayan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlayan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline. But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so vehemently opposed your grandfather's departure? For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify such sacrifice? It is the duty of the learned to avert such tragedy. By fanning the flames of war, you forsake all you once held dear.
To ignore the plight of those who might conceivably save is not wisdom, it's indolence.
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike her, you should know better. By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlayan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy. Alphino, Alizé, as of this moment, you shall no longer bear the name of Leveilleur.
What?
Father!
How you choose to live your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
Master Fourcheneau, while Sharlayan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlayan's hopes for the morrow?
I have said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
Father! Wait!
Don't bother, Alizé!
How can you stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
Well, I don't think that went quite as planned. Yeah. So that's what he came here to say? That we were all fools for having the temerity to defend ourselves against the Terraforoi? As for the rest? Like or not, this was the Forum's decision. To watch from afar while Eorzea burns. Father was but the messenger. As he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't. To prolong the discussion would have changed little, for it is not only Master Fourcheneau who must be persuaded, but the Forum as a whole. The decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it like to be changed, and so we shall face the Terraforoi without their aid. Forgive me, but if they had no intention of helping us, then why would they go to the trouble of sending an envoy in the first place? Why did they not simply keep their counsel as they are wont to do? Arya, has Master Fourcheneau arrived yet? It is as I feared. My efforts were in vain. I pleaded their case to as many Forum members as I could, but they flatly refused to discuss the matter. No, it's not exactly true. I'd rather say that they ignored every word I said on the subject, without exception. It was almost unnerving. Could it be that they're hiding something from us? That might go some way to explain Master Fourcheneau's performance. When he said that they would know if the final days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. What if they genuinely believe that they know how the world will end, and simply disagree with us about the circumstances? That I don't know, but something tells me that they are not as unconcerned about the Terraforoi as they claimed. If the threat weren't real, why else would they be so standoffish and secretive? I would very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted every avenue of inquiry. Nor have I fared any better with my other mission, researching Hydaelyn and the Ethereal Sea. Try enlisting the help of experts in the field, but it appears the Forum has forbidden anyone from cooperating with us. Obstructed at every turn. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can still find a way forward. To that end, I would like you all to join me here, when the time is right, of course. I'm aware that matters in Eorzea stand on the knife edge, but with your permission, I can at least start making the necessary arrangements. Well, there are one or two things to take care of here first. After which assisting me will seem a sweet relief, I'm sure. Well, you attended matters heroical. I shall see about securing entry for you all, and will you let me know when everything is in order? Take care in the meantime, won't you? Their speculations give me cause to hope. Yet if these seeds will bear fruit, I cannot say. While it's possible the Sharlayans hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that its exposure will prompt in them a change of heart. And so, for the present, we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has refused our request for aid, and it falls to us alone to contend with the Terraforoi. Even with all of Eorzea standing united, there is no guarantee that we will prevail. What does Sharlayan intend to do if we fail? And on that note, I know it's a little early, but we have a lot of cutscenes coming up. So next time we will speak with Connie Senna for question mark. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps to keep bringing content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!